Calling All Cars, the copyrighted program created by the Rio Grande Oil Company.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars. Attention all cars. Broadcast 110. Keep your eyes open for a gang of safecrackers dressed as carpenters. That's all. Rosenthal.
As the new year starts, Rio Grande checks up on the many cities and counties where Rio Grande cracked gasoline is now being used for emergency cars. Here are reports from just a few of them. Berkeley, California.
You bet we're satisfied. Berkeley police and emergency cars operated more efficiently last year than ever before. And we will use Rio Grande cracked gasoline in 1936, just as we did last year.
During the San Diego Exposition, the emergency cars of San Diego County were called upon for unusual service. They tried Rio Grande cracked gasoline, and they say,
"We enjoyed great success with Rio Grande cracked gasoline, which has efficiently powered every emergency car operated by the county of San Diego."
And confirmation comes from Oakland, California.
We're more than satisfied with the results from using Rio Grande cracked gasoline in all Oakland emergency cars last year. This year, too, Oakland will continue to power all police cars, ambulances, fire and emergency engines with cracked gasoline.
Los Angeles renews its contract.
We've used Rio Grande cracked gasoline in all Los Angeles police cars, ambulances, fire engines, and emergency equipment for 3 years. We see no reason to change. Los Angeles emergency cars are making better speed, have more power, and cost less per mile to run. And Rio Grande cracked gasoline is entitled to much of the credit. We've just renewed the contract with the Rio Grande Oil Company for all the gasoline used by the city of Los Angeles for the 4th consecutive year.
And so come the reports from city after city, county after county. For 1936, as in years past, it will still be true that
more police cars, fire engines, ambulances, motorcycles, and other emergency equipment are powered with Rio Grande cracked gasoline than any other brand.
Now we are pleased once more to present Chief James E. Davis of the Los Angeles Police Department. Chief Davis.
Good evening, friends. In every criminal case, this department receives hundreds of tips, phone calls, and crank letters, most of which, when run down, prove to be of no help to the investigating officers. Occasionally, however, an alert citizen will prove himself to be of tremendous value by reporting a suspicious action. In the case you are about to hear, the promise of adventure led 2 eager boys into a maze of facts which, when investigated by members of the police department, uncovered an ingenious scheme and led to the arrest of the criminals. If all citizens were as careful to state plain facts when reporting a suspicious person or action, and less apt to exaggerate, it would be a great help in the work of stamping out crime.
On a lonely hill on the east side of Los Angeles stands an old house, surrounded by a weed-grown garden, screened by scabby eucalyptus palms. It is a mystery house, a silent house. To the children of the neighborhood, it is a haunted house. One night a year ago, the wind blew around its bleak corners out of a dark cloud which glowed dully from the reflected lights of the city. The wind moaned and whined. It rustled the dry branches of the palms. It plucked up the scaling bark of the eucalyptus and whirled it away. It nipped at the noses of 2 small boys taking a shortcut home past the old dark house.
I kind of wish we hadn't taken the shortcut, Dick.
Why?
Well, of course I ain't afraid. But well, I might scuff up my new shoes on this gravel walk.
Oh, that's what shoes are for, the stuff.
Dick, did you hear that?
Yes.
What was it?
I don't know. Nothing to be scared about.
I ain't scared. But you act like...
No, I ain't either. Probably the wind just blew a shingle off the roof of the old house or something.
Yes, probably. Only let's walk a little faster.
Okay. It's late, and I promised Mother I'd get home early.
Dick, look!
What?
In that window on the second floor of the old house.
A witch with a candle.
Dick, don't run so fast. Wait for me.
Well, boys. When are you going in such a hurry?
Oh, Officer Forbes. Gee, I'm glad we ran into you.
Well, you didn't quite run into me, but you almost did. What's the trouble?
We just saw a witch.
With a candle.
A witch with a candle. Where?
In the haunted house up on the hill.
You saw a witch with a candle in the haunted house, so you run away. I thought you two fellas were Rio Grande Junior Police.
Well, we are.
Well, why didn't you investigate the matter?
Well, we're junior police, all right, but we aren't supposed to arrest witches, are we?
Well, I don't know what the officer's manual says on that. But I think you might stake out on that house up there. And if you see anything suspicious, report it to me.
Well, you see, my mother doesn't like me to stay out at night.
Oh, not at night. Just do a little detective work in the daytime, when it's nice and bright and witches are all hidden away.
Oh, sure. We'll investigate it for you in the daytime.
That's fine. I'll be looking for a report now.
And a little later that same night, in another part of town, an alert radio car stops a suspicious-looking automobile.
Where are you boys going?
We're going to work.
Going to work at 3:30 in the morning?
Sure. Can't you see we're carpenters?
Carpenters, huh? It's a funny time for carpenters to be going to work.
Yeah, well, you see, we're trying to rush through a house for one of them big shots out in Malibu, and we have to get to work early. You get it?
Yeah, okay, boys, go ahead, but it sure sounds goofy to me.
Okay, officer. Good morning.
Judas, that was a close one.
Wasn't close at all. What did I tell you? It's a perfect blind. Anybody'd think we was carpenters.
And the next morning at police headquarters, one of the officers on the safe detail reports to his superior, Lieutenant Katzenberger.
Well, Katz, another box was blown last night.
Where?
In the branch bank out on Slauson.
Any line on who did it?
No, but I got a new wrinkle in safe cracking to tell you about.
What's that?
They used putty instead of soap to seal in the nitro before they touched it off.
Putty instead of soap?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is a new one. Did it work?
Did it work? I'll say it did. Blew the vault door 15 feet.
How much they get?
Oh, mere 60 grand.
Any fingerprints?
Not a one. No trademark but the putty.
Well, if they've got a successful modus operandi like that, they'll hit soon again. Better get out a warning to all banks to keep a special lookout for safecrackers.
Okay, Katz. I'll do that right away.
Independently, two other law enforcement officers are conducting their own investigation. All day long, excepting for the time they're in school, Bobby and Dick, the two junior police, stake out the old dark house on the hill. As twilight falls and witch time approaches, they leave their post to report to Officer Forbes.
Well, boys, been doing any detective work today?
Oh, yes, sir. We did just like you told us. We put a stake out in the old haunted house.
Good, and what did you find?
Well, to tell you the truth, nothing happened all day. It's mighty discouraging.
Oh, you mustn't feel that way, Dickie boy. Why, sometimes we have to stake out a joint for weeks before the case breaks. You can't expect quick action, especially when you're staking out on witches and ghosts.
Yeah, but there's something in that house besides witches and ghosts.
Yeah? What?
I forgot to tell you. This morning we staked out for a while before school started. We saw something then.
You did know. And what did you see?
We saw 3 carpenters go into the house.
3 carpenters, eh?
Now, what do you suppose they were going to do in the old house?
It's beyond me, boys. But maybe they was going to make the witches' living quarters more comfortable.
Again, our scene shifts. It is early the next morning at a main intersection in Inglewood. The patrolman on the beat is walking along the street with a late-to-bed friend.
Well, I'm glad you came by, George. I'm tired talking to myself.
Yeah, but it does get lonely walking up and down the street all night.
Yeah, it sure does.
Say, you ought to have been with me tonight, Hank. I had a date that'll go down into history. Let me tell you about
Hey,
it.
wait a minute, George.
Huh? What's the matter?
Look, there's a light in the back of the bank. Let's see what's doing back there. I'll just try the door. Locked all right.
That's funny.
Say, look, George. It's some carpenters setting up a petition in the back. See? One of them's waving to you.
Sure. Yeah, I guess they wanted to have the work done before banking hours.
Oh, sure. That must be it. They're doing a lot of hammering and sawing while the customers are around, I guess, huh?
Well, let's amble on. You know, George, this is the worst beat I ever had. Nothing ever happens out here.
I told you this carpenter gag would work. Is he gone? Sure, he's gone. He waved back to me and walked on. Oh, he looked legitimate, I tell you.
Is the body all in? Yes, Spike. Okay. I'm going to pour in the night.
I tell you, this carpenter gag is the best one I thought up since I dressed like a brakeman and held up that train in Utah. Got 10 grand that time I did, and I never got a thing on me.
Pipe down about how good you are, will you? You make me nervous when I'm pouring this stuff.
Hey, let me do it. You make me nervous.
Why, what's the matter with me?
You want to get us all in the can?
What do you mean?
Got the finger in your rubber glove. You tore it. First thing you know, you'll be leaving fingerprints all over the place.
Gee, that was a close one. I'll fix it right away.
Okay. Soup's all poured. And out the wires around the corner, Red.
Okay.
Come on, Spike. Get out of the way of that door. It's liable to fly anyway.
Okay, I'm clear.
Let her go, Red.
Okay.
A beauty. Now let's clean her out before that flatfoot comes back up the street. Boy, look at that. Must be 5 or 6 grand there.
Next afternoon after school, the 2 junior policemen resumed their stakeout on the haunted house. Hiding in a tangled growth of what was once shrubbery, Bobby and Dick watched the mysterious house. They have brought Tuffy, Dick's mongrel dog, with them.
Quiet, Tuffy. It's only a cat. We'll never make a police dog of him. He keeps barking at every cat he sees.
Tuffy will learn. He's smart.
Do you think it's any use watching this place any longer, Dick?
Sure, why not? We're under orders. Officer Forbes told us to.
Yes, I know. But it doesn't seem that anything ever happens, except when those carpenters coming in the morning.
We haven't seen them come out yet, have we?
No. But you don't expect us to stay here after dark, do you? Officer Forbes said we didn't have to.
Yes, but carpenters quit work at 4:30. Didn't leave here until 5 yesterday. They were still in there. That looks suspicious.
Maybe they're working overtime.
Yeah, maybe. But if they are, I'm going to stay around till I see them leave. My suspicions are aroused, Bobby. It's all pretty mysterious.
You going to stay here in the dark?
Sure, if I have to. You're going to stay with me, aren't you?
Yes, if I...
You're not afraid, are you?
Oh, no, I'm not afraid. Only...
Bobby, look. Here comes the man up the walk. Quiet, Tuffy.
Put your hand over his jaws.
That fellow looks suspicious. What do you say, Bobby?
Yes, I would. He looks like a robber or something. We must remember his description, Dick. American? About 25, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, maybe. Awful old, anyway.
Dressed in a blue suit and brown shoes.
Suit isn't pressed, and shoes need a shine.
And look, Dick, he's got a tattoo on his right hand. That's very important.
Yeah.
He's ringing a bell.
Maybe he's only selling fuller brushes.
No, he wouldn't. He don't look like that.
Bobby, look. Look who's opening the door to let him in.
It's the old witch we saw at the window the other night.
Gee.
Let's sneak up to the house and look in the window.
Gosh, I don't know.
Like a game?
Well...
Oh, come on. It's broad daylight. We got Tuffy along with us to protect us.
Well, okay then.
We'll duck over to that palm tree, and then to the next one, and then to those bushes by the window. Come on.
All right. Now, you be quiet, Tuffy.
Well, we made the first tree.
Gosh, this is more fun than playing cowboys and Indians.
Come on, now to the next tree. Now quiet, and we'll get into the bushes.
Can you see it?
Sure. Come on over here.
Look, there's the old witch and that robber-looking man.
He's handing him something in a paper. Can you hear what they're saying?
No, can you?
No. But look, Dick, he's flipping it. Say, I saw a picture once where a fella did that. I bet that stuff she's giving him is dope.
Gee, that's against the law, isn't it?
It sure is.
Now he's giving her some money. She's giving him a package.
Gee, we better tell Officer Forbes about this right away. Come on, let's get out of here.
Quiet, quiet.
Are you two young Red? What are you doing in there?
Why, we wasn't doing anything, mister.
No, that is, You see, why, we were playing ball and I missed the catch, and I think the ball came up here.
We were just looking for it.
Just looking for your ball, huh? I'll teach you young scamps to trespass. I'll beat you within an inch of your worthless young lives.
Let go of me, let go of me. Tumpy, you shouldn't.
Will you, you jerking little bird?
You kicked Tumpy. You killed him.
I'll kick you, too, you little...
Now get off of this property. Get off before I beat you within an inch of your life.
Come on, Bobby. We gotta find Tumpy. He may be dying someplace. So we found Tuffy under the house across the street, Officer Forbes. I don't know how bad he's hurt.
And you saw them passing money for dough, huh?
Yeah, it all looks suspicious. If it wasn't, why would the man threaten to beat us up? Why would he kick Tuffy? We better raid them, Officer Forbes.
Yeah, maybe we better. But first off, I think we better get Tuffy to the hospital.
You think will he be all right?
Oh, I can't say to Dickie, but I guess he'll come through. Looks like he's more scared than anything else. So we better get down to the vets and make sure.
At the vets, Dick's fears are quieted. Tuffy is in no great danger, and within a week will be as good as new. Then the two embryo officers and their uniformed friend turn to the problem of the boy's discovery. After carefully hearing their story, Forbes reports to Captain Seeger of the narcotics squad. And the captain soon has Detectives Chitwood and Woolman in his office.
Boys, I just got a tip on a narcotic plant over on Boyle Heights. Here's the address written on this slip of paper. Go out there and see what it's all about.
Okay, Cap.
Just hang around the place and get the lay of the land before you make any arrests. This tip came through a couple of kids, and there may not be anything to it. And again, there may.
We'll watch our step, Cap.
All right, boys. Good luck.
So to the old dark house on the hill go Chitwood and Woolman. They park their police car in the shadows and quietly approach the house.
Why, this place doesn't look like it had been occupied for years, Eddie.
Sure doesn't. What's the address the Cap gave us?
Windows boarded up, lawn a mass of weed.
Quiet. Here comes somebody. Duck into these shrubs here. That's Willie Gillespie. I know him.
You mean the dope peddler?
Sure.
Looks like we're on the track of something.
It sure does.
Let's knock him over there.
Not yet. No, sir, I don't work that way. We'll just take our time till we know what we're after.
So hour after hour, the two officers crouch uncomfortably in the bushes, watching shadowy figure after shadowy figure enter and leave the old dark house.
Funny thing, must have been a half dozen people gone in and come out of that joint, and not a sign of life inside.
They must have a joint in the cellar. Now, they've got the windows so heavily curtained you can't tell whether there's anyone there.
This thing's beginning to get me. I want some action.
Oh, you want to walk in there and get mowed down, huh? Just wait a while. Something will happen.
Look, Eddie, at the window.
Huh? Old woman with a candle.
She looks like a witch.
Yeah, but I imagine she's flesh and bone, all right.
Here comes somebody out of the house.
Boy, what a big guy, huh?
Dressed like a carpenter. He hasn't come in while we've been here.
Yeah, I know it. Wonder what he's standing in the shadow by the curb for.
Maybe somebody's going to pick him up.
Well, keep your eyes open for license numbers, then.
Here comes a car.
Yeah, it's a taxi cab. Must be looking for a number the way he's shooting that light around.
Our friend's hailing him.
You call a cab, sir?
Yeah.
Hey, he's taking him around the back. I wonder what the idea is.
Help! Please! Hold up! He's stolen my cab!
Come on. Get this guy in our car and let's follow him.
Come on, buddy. You're coming with us.
Hey, what is this? Who are you?
Come on. Don't waste any time
Help!
talking.
I'm being kidnapped!
Madam! Now get in there. Okay, Woolman, let's go.
Hey, listen, I ain't done nothing. Don't put me on the spot.
You're
Listen.
not being put on the spot. We're police officers.
Police officers? Why didn't you say so? I thought you were with that guy.
What'd he do to you?
Well, I got a call for a pickup at that number, and he stepped out and got me around the other side of the cab and said he wanted to look up a number. And he slugged me and took my cap and drove away in my cab.
There he is, up the block there. Step on it, Woolman. You better get down on the floor, buddy. There may be some shooting.
Okay.
Get alongside of him. Try to head him off. Right. All right, pull over there, buddy.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, so he wants to shoot it out, eh? Look out, he's going to shoot again. I'll take care of that. Good boy, Chitwood. You blew the gun right out of his hand. Yeah, but he's still able to drive all right. Give him a lead and we'll shoot his tires up. Okay. That's it. He's out of control. There he is, over by that wall. He was thrown clear. Is he dead? He ought to be, after all that. He isn't, though. He's still breathing.
Hey, boys, stick him up.
What?
Up, drop that gun.
Boy, this is one for the books.
What's so funny? I said drop that gun.
Okay, officer. I don't want to get bumped off resisting a brother officer.
The devil are you talking about?
Well, if you'll permit me to lower my hands, I'll produce my badge. I'm Captain Chitwood. This is my partner, Lieutenant Woolman of the robbery squad of the Los Angeles Police Department.
Oh, sure. That's a good one on me. What the devil could I know? You two fellas in dirty old clothes standing over a wrecked car with smoking revolvers? Sure look like a beef to me.
Well, let me assure you, it might have been a worse beef. If you hadn't been in uniform, we'd certainly have let you have it, too.
But I had the draw on you.
So did this guy here.
You better call the ambulance, Woolman.
Right.
Oh, and tell that cab driver to come along with us. We'll want him to make out a complaint against this fella.
What's it all about, Captain Chitwood?
Well, this fella here stole the cab from the driver in front of that old house up the street.
What are you doing up there?
We got a tip that they were peddling dope, so we staked out on it.
Oh, so my two assistants were right after all.
What do you mean?
Oh, a couple of kids in the neighborhood playing detectives. Told me some funny stories about that house up there. Oh, I detailed them to stake it out. Then today they said they seen a guy buying dope in there. Then a big guy comes out and kicked their dog. Well, I didn't believe the story about the dope. But I figured if there was a guy around there mean enough to kick a dog, the place should be checked. So I made a report on it.
Well, you figured right that time, Forbes. Now, as soon as we get this guy into an ambulance, we'll go back up there with some of the men from headquarters and knock that plant over.
An hour later, Chitwood, Forbes, and Woolman, with a squad of men from headquarters, surround the old dark house on the hill. With his men posted, Chitwood and Woolman quietly approach the front door.
I guess we'll have to break it in, boys. Throw your flash in here, Woolman.
Nothing there but old papers and boxes. How about this room to the right? That's the side of the house where we saw the old woman.
Okay, let's try it.
Nobody here. Looks like they were just camping out here. Couple of cots, candles, frying pan, the fire.
Hey, look here.
What?
Huh?
And the mattress of this cot. Bundles of cocaine.
Huh. This was a plant, all right.
Now, what do you suppose this is? More dope?
What, in that can?
Yeah, look. Dirty, sticky stuff.
No, that isn't dope. That's putty.
Putty? Now, what do you suppose...
Hey, there's been several safe-cracking jobs recently that used putty instead of soap. I wonder...
The officers ransacked the old house from cellar to garret, and the results of their findings send Lieutenant Katzenberger to the bedside of the wounded suspect in the jail ward of the hospital.
Well, Schmidt, how do you feel today?
Hurts like the devil. You bulls are a lot of brave guys shooting me down like I did.
All right, Schmidt. No sense in being belligerent. You fired first.
Belligerent, huh? Say, listen, mister. When I get out of here, I'm going to get every one of you guys and get you in my own way.
Hey, you're not going to get out of here for a long time, Schmidt.
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, both your arms are broken. You're lucky there isn't a bullet in your heart. One was heading there, but the cab stopped it.
My arms will get well. I'll live for a long time.
Maybe so. But you'll be looking at the world through steel bars.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Now, you ready to talk?
What about?
Well, first, who was living with you in that house in Boyle Heights?
Oh. So they got away, huh?
Yes, they got away. Must have heard the shooting and beat it.
Well, that's just fine.
Who are they?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Well, frankly, yes.
And I ain't saying, see? They're out in the clear, and all you got on me is swiping that cab. I'll do a stretch in the county jail, and that'll be that.
Oh, no, it won't.
Why not?
Hey, your friends were in a hurry to leave. They forgot their narcotics.
I don't know anything about that.
Maybe not, but we'll have a violation of the State Poison Act against you.
The stuff wasn't mine.
Whose was it, then?
I'll take the rap. I ain't talking.
I'll say you'll take the rap. Now, how about those bank robberies?
What bank robbery?
The ones where you use putty instead of soap to blow the safes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yes, you do.
I never had no putty.
There any burglar's tools in a carpenter's toolbox?
No.
You were dressed in carpenter's overalls when you swiped the cab. What bank were you planning to hold up that night?
I ain't talking. You can't prove it.
I think we can. Because, you see, your friends also forgot some of their dough when they left in such a hurry. They forgot about $2,000. We find that the serial numbers of that $2,000 are the same as the money that was stolen from that bank over on Slauson the other night. Now, how about it? You better talk. We got you for swiping the cab, we got you for narcotic possession, and we got you for bank robbery. And, oh, yes, we got you for kicking a dog.
For kicking a dog? Oh. So those little brats squealed, did they? A fine police force you got when you send kids out to do your work.
How about it? Who was in on those jobs with you?
I ain't talking.
Well, we'll get them sooner or later, you know. Mugs like you can't stay out of trouble very long.
Okay, go get them. But I won't tell you who they are. Go on, send me up. I'll take my rap. But I won't turn stoolie.
Criminal psychology is a funny thing, Schmidt. You'd kick a little dog, but you won't help us catch rats.
Smith, with braggadocio of the criminal, finally gave along an amazing confession of his crimes, which included robberies in a half-dozen states. But it never gave the identity of his pals. Nevertheless, the investigation goes on. I can safely say that there's only a matter of time before the other members of this outlaw gang will be in San Quentin Penitentiary, where Smith was sent for from 7 years to life.
Thank you, Captain Chitwood. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rio Grande Oil Company invites you to get acquainted with your nearest Rio Grande dealer. He offers you a free copy of that unique monthly publication, the Calling All Cars News, full of detective stories and movie news. To you who use Rio Grande cracked gasoline, the dealer offers you free police money, coupons, which you can exchange for valuable gifts for boys and girls. And for you who use low-price gasoline, Rio Grande offers its new G-Gas, the lowest-priced gasoline it's safe to buy. The first gasoline guaranteed to exceed the United States government specifications. In oil and in gasoline, Rio Grande continues the policy which has made it the fastest-growing oil company in the West. More value for your money.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars, attention all cars, to cancellation broadcast 110 regarding a gang of safecrackers. The leader of this gang is now in custody. That's all. Rosenquist.
Narrator Frederick Lindsley, bidding you good night for the Rio Grande Oil Company. Calling All Cars, a copyrighted program created by the Rio Grande Oil Company.
Tucson Police calling all cars, attention all cars. Attention all Pima County Sheriff's cars, broadcast 111. Be on the lookout for a Model T Ford Roadster. License V like Victor 625. V like Victor 625. Is believed to have been used as getaway car in the murder of Frank Zell. That's all.
Fill my tank with Rio Grande cracked gasoline. Check my oil, please.
Yes, sir.
Well, I see they've turned all your Rio Grande dealers into gasoline G-men now.
Yes, we're all G-men since we got this new Rio Grande G gas. And we're all on the hunt for public enemy number 101.
Public enemy number 101? What does that mean?
Well, there's a lot of cheaply made, cut-price bootleg gasolines that can't equal the United States government specification number VVG 101. We call such bootleg gasoline public enemy number 101 because the government says it isn't safe for use.
I suppose your new G-gas is the lowest priced gasoline that's safe to buy, huh?
You've got to give Rio Grande credit for being the first to bring out a low-priced gasoline that's guaranteed to exceed United States government specifications for quality in every point.
You think it's a better buy than cracked gasoline? I'd just as soon pay a little less, you know.
No, sir. Honestly, it isn't. Rio Grande developed G-gas to fight the bootleggers in the oil industry who are selling sub-quality gasoline at low prices. G-gas sets a new standard of quality in the low-price market. And for those who want the cheapest gasoline, G-gas is the only safe buy. But it doesn't compare with Rio Grande's cracked gasoline. They make cracked to exceed emergency specifications. And that's why it's used by more police and emergency cars than any other brand. You get 100% engine efficiency with cracked gasoline. You get tetraethyl. You get more power, speed, liveliness, greater mileage. And Rio Grande Cracked is the only gasoline made that gives you police car performance.
And now it is our pleasure to present Chief of Police C.A. Wallard of Tucson, Arizona. Chief Wallard.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our policing problems in Tucson, Arizona are somewhat different from those in larger metropolitan centers. Tucson is surrounded not by populous suburbs, but by deserts and mountains. A criminal can easily escape to these trackless wastes, where, if he is at all cunning, he may elude capture for days, sometimes for months. So, in law enforcement in Tucson, you have an interesting example of the cooperation possible between city and county authorities. Sheriff Belton of Pima County and his men, and I and my men, are called upon to preserve law and order over the entire county, an area of more than 11,000 square miles. Constantly, in our work, we of the police department must ask the assistance of the sheriff's office, or, as in the case of the dramatization you are about to hear, the sheriff's office is required to ask our cooperation. As a matter of fact, a great number of men under my command on the police force are also commissioned as deputy sheriffs. In addition, our geographical position, so close to the Mexican border, also brings in the federal authorities on the border patrol, who've always worked closely with us. You can readily see that with city, county, and federal law enforcement agencies working in such a tightly interlocking system, the lawbreaker in Tucson is being quickly convinced that he can't get away with it. The state penitentiary of Florence has quite a few steady boarders who have learned from Sheriff Belton and me that crime doesn't pay.
The Tortolitas Mountains outside Tucson, Arizona, are crowned with gray clouds. Lightning flashes about the crest of Mount Lemmon. The dying sun sends one somber streak of red across the desolate, overcast desert, and then chokes to extinction. The soft tentacles of a thunderhead around its throat. The drums of heaven beat its dirge. And far below, a rickety Model T Ford chugs up a sandy hill. The first drops of rain splattering its dust-caked windshield. And as it reaches the top of the rise, the reborn sun next morning rises in a clear blue rain-washed sky. sends the last storm cloud scudding west toward the Pacific, sets about drying up the drenched desert. Up the same lonely road near Tucson chugs another automobile containing 2 men.
That rain last night sure did the country a lot of good, George.
Sure did. Cattle have something more to eat now than choyofers.
Watch your driving, George, or we'll be stuck for fair.
I'm doing the best I can. These roads sure are slippery.
Look at the way that wash is running on ahead there.
Now, hold on. I'm going to hit it with all I got, or I'll never get up the hill on the other side.
Go ahead, I'm hanging on.
Made it.
Yeah, you made the wash all right, but how about this grade?
Well, I'll make it all right, too. This old bus ain't never failed me yet. Yeah, what did I tell you? I made the hill, too.
George, look.
What?
Couple of buzzards soaring around up there. Must be something dead.
Coyotes probably pulled down a calf.
Something lying over there under that saguaro.
Looks like a man to me.
Probably a drunken Indian.
Hey, he might get bit by a rattler lying there.
Let's take a look.
He isn't drunk. He's dead.
It's Frank Zell. Look, he's been shot through the neck and through the arm. Murdered.
Must have happened before the rain last night. His clothes are water-soaked.
We better get back to Cortaro and telephone the sheriff.
5 minutes after the 2 ranchers have placed their call, Sheriff Walter W. Bailey of Pima County, accompanied by Deputies Harry Johnson and Glenn Hunter, are streaking out of Tucson for the scene of the crime. Meantime, Anderson and Buffett return to the rain-sodden corpse on the Tortolitas Trail and make some interesting finds. When the sheriff arrives...
Here's the body, Sheriff.
You know who it is?
Yes, Sheriff. Named Frank Zell. Got a homestead up on the trail here next to mine.
Any folks?
No, lives all alone. Some people around here call him a hermit.
We've been looking around while we was waiting for you, Sheriff, and we found some stuff.
What?
These 2 fired bullet casings, for one thing.
32-20. And the size of the wounds in his neck and wrist, that's what he was killed with. Where did you find these?
Over yonder, under that mesquite.
Looks like broken glass on the road there. Did Zell have a car?
Yes, he did, Sheriff. An old Model T.
How far is it from here to his homestead?
About 2.5 miles.
Did he ever walk into town?
No, always took his car.
And whoever murdered him must have stolen his car. You can see the faint marks here where it was turned around. The rain's washed them out too much to tell what kind of a tread was on the tires.
Here's something else we found, Sheriff. A carton of broken eggs, Frank's billfold, and a pair of old tan shoes.
Can't be the victim's shoes. They're too small. Now, why were they thrown away?
Might not have anything to do with this case. I found them down in the wash.
Well, they mightn't, and again they might. I'll file them away anyhow. There's no doubt about it. Zell was ambushed.
But, Sheriff, why do you suppose anybody'd want to murder Frank?
That's one of the many things we'll have to find out. That empty billfold would make it look like robbery.
But you don't have to murder a man, bushwhack him for his money.
Well, possibly revenge was the motive. Did Zell have any enemies you know of, Mr. Anderson?
No, none that I know of. He was a quiet, peaceable fella. Minded his own business and kept his nose out of other folks. We all thought a lot of him out this way, though none of us knew him very well.
Well, we'll have to check back on him. Glenn?
Yes, Sheriff.
You go along with Mr. Anderson here up to Zell's house. Go over the place thoroughly and see what you can dig up.
Yes.
Johnson and I will go down to Cartaro and see what we can find out there about him. Meet you back at headquarters as soon as you get through.
Yes, sir. Come on, Mr. Anderson, if you'll drive me.
Everyone the sheriff questions assures him that the murder victim was a law-abiding citizen, and no one knows of any grudge against him. The sheriff has returned to headquarters when Deputy Hunter arrives.
Well, Glenn, did you find any guns out there at Zell's shack?
No, no guns. Lots of books around the place, though, on public speaking and willpower, physical culture, and that sort of thing. And I found this scrapbook. Tells a lot about the guy. See? Hey, here's a clipping about him when he was fighting under the name of Jack Kelly. According to this, Jack Kearns was his manager. And then over here is his enlistment papers from the Army. Joined up in 1917 with the 33rd Field Artillery. You can see, here. He served several hitches, and every discharge is marked honorable or excellent.
Yes, that's all very well, but I'm interested in guns. You say you didn't find any guns?
No.
There were supposed to be 3 guns in that cabin.
I went over the place from top to bottom, and I didn't find a single one. I found a shotgun rammer and some ammunition for a .22.
Yes, according to Zell's neighbor, he owned a .32-20 carbine, and that's the type of gun he was killed with. I believe, since you found no guns at Zell's cabin, that he was murdered with his own gun by someone who had stolen it from his shack during his absence.
Why we lay him in the desert? Why not kill him at home?
Search me. The killer probably wanted to be sure to escape detection. And he certainly did a good job of that with the rain to help him. He's probably over to the coast or down in Mexico by now.
Maybe he didn't try to make a getaway. Maybe he's still right here in Tucson.
I doubt it.
It wouldn't hurt to ask Chief Dyer to give us some help on the city angle.
Okay, I'm willing to try anything. I'll call him right away.
Sheriff Bailey enlists the assistance of Chief Jackie Dyer of the Tucson Police Department. Within 15 minutes, the chief has collected his department heads and is issuing orders.
Boys, the sheriff has asked our cooperation on the Zell murder. He feels that the killer is Skip, but I can't agree with him. I've got a suspicion he's right here in town. I want you to have your men cover the city for Zell's car, which was stolen at the time he was murdered. The car was seen coming toward town last night with a dark-looking fellow driving it. It was a Model T Roadster, license number V625. Now get out and pick it up.
Okay, Chief.
Dallas Ford. Wait a minute, I got a special job for you.
Okay.
Dennis, I've got a theory on this case.
Yes?
Yes. In the first place, I think our man is right here in town. Also, I'm sure that he stole all 3 of Zell's guns. The .32-20 that murdered Zell, a 12-gauge shotgun, and a .22 rifle. Now, sooner or later, he's going to get low on funds if he isn't already broke.
Yeah, and then he'll try and sell the guns. Is that it?
Exactly. Now, I want you to check all the pawn shops and second-hand stores and inform the dealers to notify us if any of these guns are offered for sale.
Yes, sir. I'll get on it right away.
And while Detective Ford begins the job of checking the pawn shops, squads of officers comb Tucson for the missing murder car. Early on the morning of August 7th, 36 hours after the murder, officers Charles Eaton and Walker Hyde are cruising down West Simpson Street in the police car as they approach the intersection of Mission Street.
Say, Charlie, there's a Model T Roadster.
Where?
Standing by that old brick kiln.
Oh, yeah. I see it. Better pull up.
Well, come on. This'll be the 7th old heap we've checked over since we come on duty.
Yeah. Not much use looking at this one. It's been burned up.
Been set on fire, you mean?
Huh? What do you mean?
Smell that gasoline?
Yeah.
All around the car. Somebody doused that car with gas and then set fire to it. I wonder why.
That's why.
What?
The license plates. V625. You can still make out the numbers even if the paint is burned away. That's the car that Frank Zell was killed in.
By golly, you're right, Walker.
Look, they stripped it before they burned it. But they forgot to remove the plates.
And the windshield's broken.
Fat chance of getting prints, though. The paint's been blistered. All the upholstery and woodwork's burned.
Well, we're collecting a crowd of interested bystanders. Maybe they know something about this.
Yeah, let's ask this old Mexican woman. You live around here, lady?
Si. Me live over there, across the street.
Whose car is this?
Quien sabe.
Who set fire to it?
Quien sabe.
Did you see it burning?
No.
She's not going to be any help. I'll try old Uncle Tom here. Hey, Pop, whose car is this?
I don't know.
Looks like it was burned, don't it?
You sure do.
When was it burned?
I don't know.
How long's it been there?
Well, I was here there yesterday morning, I think. Let's see, it was about 6 o'clock in the morning when I see.
I see them burning the car.
You did?
Si, senor. Last night.
Who did it?
Those hombres.
Two men. One is black, one is white.
Sure it wasn't a Mexican?
Oh, no, senor. No Mexicano, but not mobile.
If that kid's telling the truth, this doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, we'd better get what's left of the car into headquarters and let Mark Robbins go over it for identification.
But Mark Robbins, famed identification expert of the Tucson Police Department, can find no fingerprints or blood traces on the badly burned automobile. And meanwhile, Detective Dallas Ford, making his weary round of the pawn shops and second-hand stores, drops into a little shop on West Broadway.
Hello, Herman.
Oh, hello, Dallas. How's the policing business?
Oh, it's all right, Herman. How's the money-lending racket?
Oh, terrible. How can I make a living when everyone wants to borrow money and nobody wants to pay it back? Then nobody comes in to buy merchandise? I'm telling you, Dallas, the country's in bad shape.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Yeah, I couldn't sell you some nice first-grade merchandise, could I, Dallas?
Nope, I'm after information. I don't want to buy that.
Yeah, what is it you want to know?
Anybody sold you any guns lately?
No, I ain't bought a gun for 2 weeks.
Well, if anyone comes in and tries to sell you a gun, you let me know.
Tries to sell a gun? Say, Dallas, there was a fellow in here trying to sell me a gun.
Yeah? When was this?
Just this morning.
Well, who was he?
A Mexican fella.
What kind of a gun?
I don't know. He didn't have it with him. Just had the shells.
What caliber?
32-20.
32-20? That's the size rifle I'm looking for.
Well, I told him to go bring me in the gun. You know, he must be crazy. I ain't buying no guns by looking at the shells.
Did he say he'd be back?
Yeah, he said he'd bring the gun around, but maybe he won't. You know, sometimes they never come back.
Well, now listen, Herman. I want you to let me know if he comes back.
Sure, I'll do that.
Now, you call me at headquarters and then stall the bird until we can get over here. We want to talk to him.
Yeah, sure. I'll be glad to if I can.
Well, you got to.
Well, listen, how will I stall him?
Any way you can. Bargain with him. Keep him arguing. We won't be long getting here.
Within 3 hours, the excited pawn shopkeeper calls headquarters and informs them that the same Mexican is in his store. Detective Ford is not at headquarters, so Captain P.B. Wilbanks and Officer Philip Villascusa, jumping into a police car, arrive at the pawn shop 5 minutes after the call.
Listen, I tell you, I can't give you more than $2.50 for it.
But, senor, consider, it is very valuable. It is worth much more.
To my own grandmother, I could not give you more than $2.50.
Oh, hello, Herman.
Hello, Captain. I had a pretty hard time.
Is this your man?
And now he tries to sell me a watch.
What's your name?
My name? Why, who are you?
Police officer.
Oh, police.
Yes. What's your name?
My name is Florentino Ruiz.
Where are you from?
Phoenix.
This the fellow who wanted to sell you the rifle, Herman?
The very same one.
I guess we'll have to place you under arrest, Mr. Ruiz.
I have done nothing. Why should you place me under arrest?
We want to ask you some questions about that rifle you've got for sale.
Back at headquarters, Florentino Ruiz, Mexican, is questioned by Chief Dyer and Detective Kroner.
There is some mistake, senor. The senor at the pawn shop is mistaken. I said nothing about a rifle. I was trying to find the value of the watch.
Where did you get the watch?
It belongs to a friend of mine. I am poor, but I am honest. I have done nothing.
You have the watch with you?
See.
Let me see it.
Here you are.
Belongs to a friend of yours, huh?
See.
Good heavy shoes you wear, Ruiz.
See.
Pretty large for you, aren't they?
See.
Where'd you get them?
I bought them, Jefe. My feet, they're sore. I like shoes large.
I see. Now, how about that gun?
What gun?
The gun you tried to pawn.
Oh, there is a mistake. I did not try to pawn a gun.
Well, we'll just drop over to your place on McCormick Street and take a look around.
Captain Wilbanks is sent to search Ruiz's room, and within half an hour enthusiastically brings a gun into the office of identification expert Mark Robbins.
Well, here's the gun that shot Zell, Mark.
How do you know?
It's a 32-20 Winchester, and I found it in Ruiz's room.
That's circumstantial evidence.
I know it, but I know, too, that I can count on you to make it material evidence.
Well, we'll see. Let's have the gun. An old model, isn't it?
Yeah.
Set up the test box, will you, Nick?
Yes, sir. This ought to be the murder weapon. Zell owned a 32-20. He was shot with one. Ruiz tried to pawn one, and we found this one in his room.
All ready, sir. Okay, we'll see soon enough.
I'll just load this baby up. Now we'll shoot a few rounds into the test box. Now we'll have a look at these shells. Come on over here to the comparison microscope, Bill Banks.
Right.
Now we'll place the shell found at the scene of the crime under one side of the microscope, and we'll place one of the shells we just fired under the other side. There. Now, just a moment until I line them up. There, Will Banks. Take a look and tell me what you think.
The two shells have identical firing pin marks.
They also have identical scars on the side from the breech block.
Then Ruiz killed Frank Zell.
I don't know whether Ruiz did, but I'm prepared to testify that this gun did.
Ruiz denies possession of the gun, denies burning Zell's automobile, denies killing Zell, explains the bloodstains on his shirt as rabbit blood. But Chief Dyer remains unimpressed by Ruiz's laconic insouciance. Sends his detectives running down clue after clue. Finally, on August 8th, 3 days after the death of Frank Zell, Florentino Ruiz is formally charged with his murder. On Wednesday, August 12th, he is given a short preliminary hearing. By his own request, the laconic Mexican acts as his own attorney. One by one, the witnesses damn him by their testimony. A young Mexican roommate of Ruiz testified.
Florentino, he been wearing tan shoes, but last week he come home wearing big black shoes. No, Florentino did not have gun before that night.
I got the shoes and gun from a man I know. I sure forgot his name.
Another friend of Ruiz testifies.
Florentino and me, we worked 3 days last summer digging well for the Americano.
I do not know Americano Zell.
A shoe clerk testifies.
These tan shoes which were found at the scene of the crime, I sold them to the defendant. I remember because I stretched them to accommodate a bunion on his right foot.
You're wrong. You never sold these to me. There are many tan shoes without make.
See, these are the shoes Florentino wear before other night.
There are many shoes like that.
Yes, that is Frank Zell's watch. I remember tearing it. My mark is on the inside of the case.
I got it from a friend.
I half sold those black shoes for Mr. Zell.
Man, give them to me.
The gun we found in your room is the gun that murdered Zell.
I don't know the about.
You murdered Zell.
No.
Confess, Ruiz, you murdered Zell.
No, I'm innocent. I'm innocent. No, póngame de cielo lo que no hice.
But the testimony in the preliminary trial is sufficient to hold Ruiz for superior court without bail. He is sent back to his cell, left completely alone. But the solitude is not unpeopled. For 2 days, thoughts tumble through Ruiz's brain. Awake or sleeping, voices whisper into his ear.
He come home wearing big black shoes.
Black shoes. Yes, I half sold them for Mr. Zell. Mr. Zell.
Zell's gun. We found it in your room. The gun you used to murder. Murderer.
You'll burn. You what?
But she tried to sell me. Fight upon a gun. A gun.
Gun you used to murder. Murder.
Murderers get the chair. You'll burn in the hot seat. You haven't seen Zell for the last time. You'll meet him on the outside.
No! Madre de Dios! ¡Denme! ¡Yala! ¡No se permite matarme!
What's all the fuss here?
No,
Quiet!
no,
Quiet! Be quiet, Ruiz. The other prisoners want to sleep.
You call the sheriff. Tell sheriff I won't foresee him.
You tell him I have something to say. You, Shorty. Shorty.
Okay, I'll make you feel down
You know he say. You know he say. I say. No quiero quemarme. No quiero quemarme.
Well, Ruiz, what is it?
Sheriff, I shot Senor Shell. No one was with me.
Listen carefully, Turnkey. You're a witness to this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Ruiz. Go ahead.
I walked from Tucson all the way to Cortaro looking for work. I thought I could get a job on Americano's well. He was not at home. I took his guns. I meet him coming back on road. I shoot him. I take his car, his money. My feet hurt. I take his shoes. He died quick. But there was much blood. Much blood. I feel better now, Sheriff. Maybe I'm going to sleep.
When he came to trial on October 13th, Ruiz changed his story and pled self-defense, claiming that Zell had attacked him first. But none of Ruiz's conflicting stories fit the facts of evidence unearthed by the untiring efforts of Chief Dyer, Sheriff Bailey, and their men. 4 days later, Florentino Ruiz was found guilty of murder in the second degree and was sentenced by Judge F.W. Pickett to serve from 40 years to life in the state penitentiary.
Thank you, Chief Wallard. Ladies and gentlemen, when police or fire departments get your call for help, they speed to your rescue as fast as humanly possible. They take no chances on the gasoline that powers their emergency cars. Year after year, different gasolines are tested, and each year Rio Grande cracked gasoline is selected to power more police cars, fire engines, and other emergency equipment than any other brand. Best of all, these departments report that their operating costs, records, prove Rio Grande cracked to be the most economical gasoline they have ever used. Why don't you get this same gasoline from your Rio Grande dealer and enjoy the greater power, economy, and satisfaction of police car performance in your own car?
Tucson Police calling all cars, attention all cars. Cancellation broadcast 111 regarding the murder of Frank Zell. This case is now closed. That's all.
Free gifts. Ask your Rio Grande dealer about the junior detective outfit, which Rio Grande gives free to boys and girls. This is your narrator, Frederick Lindsley, saying good night. Calling all cars, a copyrighted program created by the Rio Grande Oil Company.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars, attention all cars, broadcast 112. Be on the lookout for a burglar operating in the 77th Street district. This man leaves burned matches at the scene of his burglaries. That's all. Rosenquist.
Figures have just been released showing sales of all gasolines in the Pacific Coast marketing area, including California and Arizona. One company leads all the rest, the Rio Grande Oil Company, with the largest percentage of increase in sales of any gasoline. Thanks to you who have taken our recommendation to use Rio Grande cracked gasoline, Rio Grande has just finished its most successful year. Sales of cracked gasoline have steadily increased, faster than any other gasoline. And on cracked gasoline alone, Rio Grande sales have increased 140%. One of the most amazing gains in gasoline history. This record is all the more remarkable when you realize that Rio Grande does not operate its own chain stations. Rio Grande sales have increased because you motorists who want police car performance in your cars have purchased cracked gasoline from the independent dealer in your neighborhood. You have discovered that the exclusive patented cracking process makes Rio Grande cracked a livelier, faster, and more economical gasoline. And your repeat purchases have made Rio Grande the fastest growing oil company in the West. And now it is our great pleasure to present Chief James E. Davis of the Los Angeles Police Department. Chief Davis.
Good evening, friends. Your policeman is always on the spot. If he fails to do his duty as you think he should, you criticize him. On the other hand, if he does his duty as he is expected to, another part of the public will criticize him. In the story you're about to hear, a police officer actually placed himself at a disadvantage rather than be criticized for using undue force on a suspect. And he was compelled to take this course after several citizens had refused him the aid which it is every officer's right to expect from the individuals whose life and property he is sworn to protect. In cases of emergency, every conscientious citizen should stand ready to help the police rather than merely stand by and gape.
It is midnight of March 19, 1931. Detective Emmett Jones, his late watchover, is driving home. At the corner of Figueroa and 65th Street, he waits for a red light. As the signal changes, a man steps out from the shadows and onto the running board of Jones' car. The detective turns, looks into the business end of a revolver .38.
Just a minute, buddy.
Well, what do you want?
Hand over your poke.
Well, I've only got $13 on me.
Well, let's have it.
All right, just a minute. Let me get out of the car.
Now, you just stay where you are, buddy. And don't get nervous. Well, let's have that money.
Here you are.
Now, I'll just go through your other pockets. What's on this chain, your watch?
Yes.
I'll just take that, too.
Oh, no, you won't.
With a scream, the bandit plunges back into the shadows. Detective Jones in pursuit. But the officer, failing to find him, returns to his car, drives to a phone, reports to headquarters. Within 5 minutes, the radio car arrives, and after a thorough search of the neighborhood, the hold-up man is found in the alley, dead. Next morning, Detective Jones explains the situation to his superior.
He had his gun me on me all the time, see? When he started to shake me down and got hold of the watch chain, I knew if he pulled it out and saw my badge on one end of it, well, he'd let me have it. I took a long chance and shoved his gun away as I drew mine from my shoulder holster. It was either me or him.
You're quite right, Jones. You did the only thing you could do under the circumstances.
Yes, sir.
As a matter of fact, he was wanted.
You've got an identification on him?
Yes, I have. His name's Nelson. Wanted for holdups. Got a record that started with reform school when he was 15 years old. He'd done 2 stretches in Folsom by the time he was 25.
I kind of thought he was an old hand. He went about the thing in such a businesslike way.
I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if you had inadvertently caught the match burglar.
The match burglar? That's a new one on me. Who's he?
Oh, we've been having a devil of a time with him out in the 77th Street Division. He burglarizes homes during the evening when people are apt to be out to the movies. He never uses a flashlight. He uses these big kitchen matches instead. There's a whole pile of burned ones after every job.
I hope he's the guy I shot. I'd feel better about it.
Well, you don't have to have any pangs of conscience. He was a bad one anyway.
Sure, Captain, but you know how it is. You don't kill a man every day, and it makes you feel funny.
Well, to make you feel any better, I had a talk with the guy's mother this morning. A nice old lady, respectable and law-abiding. She admitted to me that perhaps it was a good thing her son was dead, because he'd never given her a moment's peace of mind. He's been in trouble ever since he was able to walk. I guess he was just a bad one.
But the captain's hope that Nelson, the hold-up man, was the match burglar is a vain one. For the mysterious match burglar continues his depredations in the 77th Street Division. As night after night, and as many as half a dozen homes are burglarized and the lost property mounts in value to thousands and thousands of dollars, the citizens of the neighborhood clamor for immediate action. Captain Wallace, in charge of detectives at 77th Street, has Detective Jones and his partner, Detective D.R. Patton, transferred from Central to his command. On a day in April, the two men report for duty in the captain's office.
Boys, I'm short-handed out here, and I've asked to have you transferred for one particular job.
What's that, Skipper?
A match burglar. We thought, Jones, that we had him when you had your run-in with that Bird Nelson, but we were wrong. This monkey's pulled 20 jobs since then.
Oh, how's he work, Cap?
Well, we know mighty little about him, except that he burns matches instead of using a flashlight.
What's he steal?
Anything from change out of a kid's bank to sterling silver. He's not particular. He takes anything he gets his hands on.
You got any idea who he is?
No, Patton, I haven't. He never seems to leave prints. The only distinguishing identification we have on him are these confounded matches he lit the place up with.
Sounds like a tough nut to crack.
It is, but I'm counting on you two to do the job. I hear the burglary reports on more than 50 jobs. Look them over, boys, and see if you can get anything out of them. And you'd better work the 4 to midnight shift. This bird pulls most of his tricks between 7 and 9.
Okay, sir. We'll go to work on him right away.
And that night, as Jones and Patton pore over the burglary reports in the precinct station, Mr. and Mrs. Casper Whitefeather are walking along 69th Street on their way home from the movies. As they approach their home...
Well, I, for one, can understand why the wife in the picture left her home with that dancer fellow. He certainly knew how to make love, didn't he, Casper?
Yes, my dear.
But when that old fool of a husband started stepping out with those actresses, well, that was just disgusting. Wasn't it, Casper?
Well, yes and no.
What do you mean, yes and no?
Well, there is such a thing as sauce for the goose and sauce for the gander.
Casper, you surprise me.
Yes, my dear.
Do you mean to say that you condone such conduct on the part of husbands? Why, if I thought for a minute that
Now, Myrtle, don't get excited. Remember, your complaint, you mustn't aggravate it.
Oh, you men are horrible. You have such feeble minds.
Yes, my dear. Here, I'll open the door. Just a minute, my dear, till I turn on the light. Now, here we are, my dear, back home.
And a fine home it is with a husband who goes out with actresses.
Now, Myrtle, I never said that.
Well, you'd like to, so that's just as bad.
Myrtle, I never said that either.
Casper.
What?
Look, the desk.
Oh, what's the matter?
Well, somebody's been in it.
Oh, merciful heavens.
Oh, they've stolen the allowance you gave me this evening. It's gone.
And so's the silver from the sideboard.
Oh, call the police, Casper.
Yes, my dear, at once. What's the number, dear?
How should I know it? I don't know any policemen, even if you do know actresses.
Now, Myrtle, at such a time as this, it isn't...
Well, get operator, dial somebody. This bedroom's a sight. They've dumped all the drawers on the bed. Hurry, Casper. Why, they might still be here, hiding in the closet or something. Hurry.
Oh, yes, dear. Hello, operator. Look, something terrible's happened. Burglars. Get the police department. This is an emergency call.
77th Street. Jones speaking. Yes? Yes. Yes, sir. We'll be right over. Come on, Pat. We're going to see some action.
Yeah, what is it?
Burglary.
Within 5 minutes, the two detectives pull their police car to a screeching stop in front of the Whitefeather residence and enter the house.
Right in here, officers. Here's where they got in, through this bedroom window in here.
You find any burned matches around the place?
Why, Why, yes. Why?
I thought so.
Well, I don't see what they've
Well,
done to do.
here's our chance to study our man's modus operandi at first hand.
All right. Now, tell me, ma'am, have you disturbed anything?
Oh, heavens, no. This is just the way we found it when we came in. I'm afraid the burglars are still in the house somewhere.
Little danger of that. Little danger of that.
Well, maybe they're lurking in the backyard. Oh, I wish you'd make sure.
Okay, ma'am, if it'll make you feel any better. Pat, take a look out back, will you?
Yeah, sure. Now, let's go out this window the same way our friend came in. Oh, don't you have a screen on this window, ma'am?
Why, of course. Merciful days. You don't suppose he stole that, too?
No, I don't think so. Imagine I'll find it around back here somewhere. Oh, Jones.
Yes?
Here's how he forced open the window. Looks like a half-inch jimmy.
That's what he used, all right. Well, you'd better get a look out back while I check the extent of the damage in here.
Okay.
Now, ma'am, can you make a list of the missing articles?
Well, I don't know. It's going to take some time to check up on things, and, well, I'm so upset and everything. I got
Casper, what's all the fuss? What's the police car doing outside the house? We've been robbed, Henry. Robbed?
Hey, you have at that. Hey, that fella didn't fool, did he? This room looks like a Kansas cyclone to me.
It's no laughing matter, Henry Watson. If you come on.
Now, my dear, don't get yourself upset.
Oh, no, I'm sure it isn't any laughing matter. Only you've got to admit that this place looks sort of funny.
I don't see anything funny about it.
You don't, well, Caspar, I was just on my way back from the movies, and I wondered what was the matter. That was all. Well, I got to get on, The missus is waiting outside for me. Come on.
Who's that man?
Our next-door neighbor.
Well, I found your screen, ma'am.
Where?
Out at the back of the lot.
Well, my...
Probably carried it back there to get a look up and down the alley to see if he was safe.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, you gotten any place in here?
Well, apparently the bird dumps all the drawers on the bed, then takes what he likes. Mrs. Whitefeather can't tell how much has been taken yet.
Oh, I suppose you could give us the list by morning, ma'am.
Yes, I'll try to.
And in the meantime, we'd better get the fingerprint man out here. Although I can't find any traces of prints. Can you, Jones?
Not a one. It certainly looks like a professional job.
Oh, just look at those burned matches on my clean floor. If I don't pick them up, they'll be ground into the carpet. Well, merciful heaven.
Well, what is it, ma'am?
Right here, under the bed. Mr. Whitefeather's gun.
His gun under the bed?
Oh, I get it. Our burglar is an ex-convict.
How do you know?
Simple. You keep the gun in one of the drawers, I suppose.
Why, yes. In this top drawer in the dresser.
So our friend finds it when he empties the drawer and immediately throws it under the bed out of reach.
What? But why? Now, I should imagine he'd want to use it, maybe. You know.
No, ma'am, he was smart. If he'd been caught armed while on the commission of a felony, he'd have 5 more years automatically tacked onto his sentence.
Oh, officer, I was just talking to the man who lives across the street, and he told me that about half an hour ago someone rang his bell. And when he answered the door, he saw a man walking away from the house in a big hurry.
Oh, so that's his gag, huh? He rings the bell first to be sure there's no one at home. If he gets an answer, he scrams. And if he doesn't, he crashes in. Well, simple enough, isn't it?
Yeah, simple enough, all right. But it isn't going to be simple to catch this guy.
Why, what's the matter?
Well, so far as I can see, he just doesn't leave any clues. No fingerprints, nothing but these confounded matches.
Oh, Casper, Henry, what is it? I want to see those officers. Right here, come in. Oh, yes. Oh, thank heaven you haven't left yet.
Why, what's the matter?
Well, when you get through here, I want you to come over to my house.
Why?
I've been robbed, too.
Armed with the notes and information gleaned from the 2 burglaries they have investigated, the 2 detectives sit down the next day to catch their criminal on paper.
Well, Pat, it looks to me as though this bird works the neighborhoods where he can find 3 or 4 houses in a group at a corner, and where there is an alley running behind him so he can make his getaway.
Well, that's right.
Now we know that he's an old hand at the racket and probably an ex-con by the way he handled that gun, and the fact that he left no fingerprints.
Well, we know that he uses matches instead of a flashlight. That's about all we do know.
I'm not so sure about that. These robbery reports tell a lot.
Oh, what?
Well, they boil down to this. Our match burglar operates in the territory between Main and Avalon and from 95th Street to 65th Street. He seems to start from the southern end of this area and works in a northeasterly direction.
Yeah. Most of these jobs are pulled between 7:30 and 9 o'clock in the evening, while people are out to the movies.
Right. And look at these reports. That guy sure knocks them over fast.
Yeah.
Look at this one last Tuesday.
5 jobs in an hour between Main and 89th and Avalon and 67.
Oh, well, he's a smart hombre, all right.
Yeah, but I've got a plan that I think will stop him. Now, look, here's a map of the district, and this circle I'm drawing roughly encloses the territory where our match burglar works.
Yeah?
We'll locate ourselves in a private house somewhere in the center of this territory. We'll have the radio cars notify as many people as they can to call in here as soon as they discover their houses have been burglarized. Then we'll have Captain Wallace relay the call to the house where we'll be waiting. As soon as we learn the location of the first job, we'll be able to guess approximately the location of the next house he'll take.
Well, sounds reasonable.
We'll give the boys in the cars a couple of days to put all the residents wise, and then you and I'll get into old clothes and go to work.
Oh, whose house will we stake out in?
Leave that to Captain Wallace. He knows everybody out in this neck of the woods. He'll find us a spot.
Allowing the detective sufficient time to impress upon over 500 residents in the district the importance of reporting burglaries immediately, Jones and Patton carefully planned their strategy. Finally, clad in old clothes, they approach the house in which Captain Wallace has arranged for them to wait until the time is right for them to spring their trap.
Well, that's the 5th time I've rung this bell. You sure this is the right place?
This is the address the skipper gave me.
Oh, it sounds like they're coming now.
Somebody just peered through those curtains at us.
Lena, call the police station. Those burglars at the door.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, that old boy will wreck our plans if we aren't careful. Hey, we're not burglars. We're police officers. Captain Wallace sent us.
Captain Wallace sent you. Why did you take on the first place?
Never have I seen such police officers all wearing to a uniform. How is the person to know?
Well, we wouldn't catch many crooks if we stayed in uniform all the time.
Oh, then you must be in disguise.
Right. But take a look at this badge just to assure yourself that we're on the level.
Oh, sure. I believe you. Come on in.
Thanks.
Now, sit down. Lena! Oh, Lena! Bring some of those pig's knuckles and some nice cheese for the gentleman.
Really, Mr. Heffel, that isn't necessary.
Oh, yeah, but for friends of Bert Wallace, nothing is too good.
Well, that's very kind of you, sir, but we may have to be leaving any minute. We're just accepting your kind hospitality until we receive a call from the captain.
Yeah, so Bert told me. Something about this burglar, he said.
That's right.
That fellow, that burglar is a bad one. Last week he robbed my neighbor's wife of a beautiful fur coat. Night before last he emptied the child's bank across the street. Tonight maybe he comes to burglarize my house. Then I fool him, Nine. Yeah, with 2 policemen guarding me.
Yeah, he'd certainly get a hot reception if he tried to break in this place.
He isn't likely to do that with all the lights on. Probably the captain already.
I answer it. Hello? Yeah, Bert, they are here. Yeah, just a minute. I'll let you talk to it. Which one of you fellas is Jones?
I am.
Captain Wallace wants to speak to you.
Fine, thanks. Oh, hello, skipper. Yeah? 841 East 84th Street. Yeah, okay. We'll get out there right away. Call you if we need help. So long.
Well, what is it, partner?
Well, our match burglar just knocked over a house on 84th Street. He ought to pull the next one about 7 blocks further north. That'll be around 77th Street. I'll cover the likely spots between 80th and 75th. You cover them from here to 80th.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Heffel.
Well, good luck, boys. I hope you catch the fellow.
Thanks. We'll do our best.
Well, come on, Pat.
Good night, sir.
Good night, boys. Good night.
Oh, Heinrich, where have the gentlemen gone? I have here already their pig's knuckles and cheese.
They couldn't wait, Lena. They have got to catch burglars tonight. What fine fellows those 2 are. You know, Lena, it's a lucky thing we got such fine fellows for policemen in this town.
Separating, the 2 detectives set out to cover the areas agreed upon. Detective Jones, proceeding on foot, comes upon a likely spot for a burglary on 76th Street, where an alley runs behind 4 or 5 dark houses. He waits in the black shadows of the alley 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. He's about to give up his vigil as worthless when he sees a smaller shadow emerge from the huge dim bulk of the house. Step cautiously into the alley. Jones rushes the cat-treading trespasser, but the man sees him and dashes between 2 houses and across the street. Taking up the chase once more, he runs into his quarry enmeshed in a web of tangled clothesline in the backyard.
All right, guy. Come on, quiet down now.
What is this? Why are you chasing me?
Well, I'm a police officer. What were you doing behind that house?
Oh, I work there. I'm janitor there.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'll just shake you down and see what you've got on you. No gun.
Oh, no, I have no gun.
Well, what's this? Your pants pocket stuffed with... Oh, pennies, dimes, and nickels. What have you been doing, robbing the kid's bank?
Well, not exactly. You see...
and the other pants pocket, stuffed with kitchen matches. You better come along with me.
But I do not understand. I have done nothing.
Oh, come on. Quit the stalling. We'll just go into this house here and call a police car. Come along.
Oh, but, Mr. Policeman, I am poor janitor. What do you arrest me for?
Oh, for about 50 or 60 burglaries.
No, senor, it's not so.
All right. Pipe down till I get some assistance from the people in this house.
Yeah?
Oh, pardon me, sir, but I'm a police officer. I just caught this man, and I'd appreciate it if you'd let me use your telephone to call for a squad car.
You don't look like no copper to me.
Well, I can assure you that I am.
There've been a lot of burglars around here recently, and I ain't taking any chances.
Well, this is the man who pulled those jobs. I've just placed him under arrest.
That's an old dodge, too.
Well, if you won't let me place the call, will you do me a favor and call the 77th Street station and ask him to send a car?
If you're a police officer, take him yourself. He's just a little guy. You're big enough to handle him.
Oh, so that's the sort of cooperation you get from the citizen and taxpayer.
See, the man is right. You're not a policeman.
Yeah, come back here, you. Come back here, you there. Come back, I say. Say, don't try to get away from me, guy. I knocked the wind out of you when I tackled you. No, you don't. Now, you just stay put and don't try to get away again.
You two hoodlums, stop that fighting or I'll call the police.
I wish you would, madam, and tell them to hurry.
Well, I never...
She doesn't believe me either. Stop that screaming, guy, or I'll break your arm.
Look, people are gathering around. They will call the police. Then where will you be? Sacre madre Dios. Oh, don't bend my arm so. If you hurt me, my little boy will haunt you all of your life.
Look here, mister. What's the idea of picking on a little fella? Let him go.
Now, listen. You look like a man with some intelligence. Will you please go to the nearest phone and call the police?
No.
I don't want to hurt this guy. Well, I'm not going to let him get away from me again.
Oh, I don't want to mix up no private quarrel.
This isn't a private quarrel. I'm a police officer. My name's Everett Jones. I'm a detective at the 77th Street Station.
Santa Maria do Guadalupe, I'll make you pay for this. I will.
Quick, stop squirming, you. How do you like that? Now, look here. Here's my gun. I don't want to use it on this guy. I could either shoot him in the foot or knock him out with a butt. But I don't want to take him that way. I don't want to hurt him, see? Here. I'll scoot it across the pavement to you. Now, you call the police car and keep the gun until they come.
Well, looks like a police positive.
It is.
You must be all right or you wouldn't give me your gun to hold.
I'm not kidding you. I'm everything I say I am. And I'm going to sit on this guy with this arm lock on him until somebody comes along and gives me assistance.
Well, okay, mister, you got me convinced. You won't have long to wait. I'll go and call the radio car right away.
At last, Jones receives his reinforcements, and securely manacled, the Mexican suspect is taken into headquarters, where he is immediately questioned by Captain Wallace, Jones, and Pat.
What's your name?
Jose Gomez.
Where do you live?
Over in Los Alamitos.
How come you've been operating over in this territory?
Well, what do you mean, operating?
Pulling all these burglaries?
I do not do no burglaries.
Listen, we've been looking for you for months.
You know you've been looking for me.
Well, we've been looking for a man who's been burglarizing the houses in this division. A man who's been using matches instead of a flashlight. We find you leaving a house on 77th Street with one pocket full of matches and the other pocket full of small change. The house you were leaving on 77th Street was burglarized tonight. The thief got the contents of a child's bank, and we find your pocket stuffed with pennies, dimes, and nickels. Looks to us as though you're the man we've been looking for.
I never did nothing wrong.
Well, let me put it this way. You were apprehended by an officer. You resisted him and attempted to escape from him. He was armed. You're lucky you're alive, because Detective Jones here is one of the best shots in the department.
So? Him?
Yeah. By the way, Jones, why didn't you use your gun on this fellow? You know you had every right to.
Well, Cap, I've been squeamish ever since I killed that guy last month.
You killed a man last month?
You sure did.
Ooh.
Yet at the same time, you spared your life. You don't know how lucky you are. And still, you don't seem to want to be a good guy about it.
Well, Capitan...
Now, how about it? Let's hear your story.
Oh, all right, Capitan. This fellow here no shoot me. I shoot the works. Good joke to make, huh?
Yes, swell. All right, Gomez, start talking.
I am the fellow you are looking for, Capitan. I did all those jobs. See, I am plenty smart Mexican fellow. I make lots of dinero robbing houses. I tell you all the places that I can
Jose Gomez talked for hours, boasting of his cunning with the characteristic braggadocio of the criminal. In the end, Detective Emmett Jones was able to clear up 75 burglaries committed by this one individual. When he was brought to trial, Gomez pled guilty to 5 counts of burglary, but based his plea upon insanity. As a result, he was sent to the Mendocino State Hospital for the insane. This story might have had an unhappy ending had Jones not been able to handle the suspect after he had overpowered him. And if this had occurred, the blame would have been squarely with those citizens who refused to give him aid. It is your privilege, your obligation, and your duty to assist your police officer whenever necessary. A citizen failing to do so is not worthy of the right to be called citizen.
Thank you, Chief Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, police departments are more efficient today than ever before. It is almost impossible for a criminal to get away with it, especially if he tried to make his getaway in an automobile. More police cars are powered with Rio Grande cracked gasoline than any other brand, and these police cars have the greatest speed and power in history. Cities like Oakland, Los Angeles, Berkeley, and many other cities and counties are specifying Rio Grande cracked gasoline for all their emergency equipment, for fire engines, ambulances, motorcycles, as well as police cars. Official tests have proved beyond question that the patented Rio Grande cracking process produces the most powerful, the liveliest, and the most efficient gasoline on this market. Your neighborhood independent dealer sells you the same Rio Grande cracked gasoline these police emergency cars use. Be sure to get this month's copy of the free Calling All Cars news. Any Rio Grande gasoline dealer will give you one. You don't have to buy either cracked gasoline or Rio Grande's new G-Gas. Just walk or drive into your neighborhood Rio Grande station and get your free copy of this unique publication with its fascinating true detective stories and latest movie and radio news. This is your narrator, Frederick Lindsley, bidding you good night for the Rio Grande Oil Company. Surrounded by a weed-grown garden, screened by scabby eucalyptus palms. It is a mystery house, a silent house. To the children of the neighborhood, it is a haunted house. One night a year ago, the wind blew around its bleak corners out of a dark cloud which glowed dully from the reflected lights of the city. The wind moaned and whined. It rustled the dry branches of the palms. It plucked up the scaling bark of the eucalyptus and whirled it away. It nipped at the noses of 2 small boys taking a shortcut home past the old dark house.
I kind of wish we hadn't taken the shortcut, Dick.
Why?
Well, of course I ain't afraid. But well, I might scuff up my new shoes on this gravel walk.
Oh, that's what shoes are for, to stuff.
Dick, did you hear that?
Yes.
What was it?
I don't know. Nothing to be scared about.
I ain't scared. But you act like...
No, I ain't either. Probably the wind just blew a shingle off the roof of the old house or something.
Yes, probably. Only let's walk a little faster.
Okay. Slayton, I promised Mother I'd get home early.
Dick, look!
What?
In that window on the second floor of the old house.
A winch with a candle.
Dick, don't run so fast. Wait for me.
Well, boys. When are you going in such a hurry?
Oh, Officer Forbes. Gee, I'm glad we ran into you.
Well, you didn't quite run into me, but you almost did. What's the trouble?
We're just saw a witch.
With a candle.
A witch with a candle? Where?
In the haunted house up on the hill.
You saw a witch with a candle in the haunted house, so you run away.
Calling all cars, a copyrighted program created by the Rio Grande Oil Company.
Los Angeles Police calling all cars, attention all cars, broadcast 110. Keep your eyes open for a gang of safecrackers dressed as carpenters. That's all. Rosenthal.
As the new year starts, Rio Grande checks up on the many cities and counties where Rio Grande cracked gasoline is now being used for emergency cars. Here are reports from just a few of them. Berkeley, California.
You bet we're satisfied. Berkeley police and emergency cars operated more efficiently last year than ever before. And we will use Rio Grande cracked gasoline in 1936, just as we did last year.
During the San Diego Exposition, the emergency cars of San Diego County were called upon for unusual service. They tried Rio Grande cracked gasoline, and they say...
We enjoyed great success with Rio Grande cracked gasoline, which has efficiently powered every emergency car operated by the county of San Diego.
And confirmation comes from Oakland, California.
We're more than satisfied with the results from using Rio Grande cracked gasoline in all Oakland emergency cars last year. This year, too, Oakland will continue to power all police cars, ambulances, fire and emergency engines with cracked gasoline.
Los Angeles renews its contract.
We've used Rio Grande cracked gasoline in all Los Angeles police cars, ambulances, fire engines, and emergency equipment for 3 years. We see the new one. Did it work? Did it work? I'll say it did. Blew the vault door 15 feet. How much they get? Oh, mere 60 grand. Any fingerprints? Not a one. No trademark but the putty. Well, if they've got a successful modus operandi like that, they'll hit soon again. Better get out a warning to all banks to keep a special lookout for safecrackers. Okay, cats. I'll do that right away.
Independently, 2 other law enforcement officers are conducting their own investigation. All day long, excepting for the time they're in school, Bobby and Dick, the 2 junior police, stake out the old dark house on the hill. As twilight falls and witch time approaches, they leave their post to report to Officer Ford.
Well, boys, been doing any detective work today?
Oh, yes, sir. We did just like you told us. We put a stake out in the old haunted house.
Good, and what did you find?
Well, to tell you the truth, nothing happened all day. It's mighty discouraging.
Oh, you mustn't feel that way, Dickie boy. Why, sometimes we have to stake out a joint for weeks before the case breaks. You can't expect quick action, especially when you're staking out on witches and ghosts.
Yeah, but there's something in that house besides witches and ghosts.
Yeah? What?
I forgot to tell you. This morning we staked out for a while before school started. We saw something then.
You did now? And what did you see?
We saw 3 carpenters go into the house.
3 carpenters, eh?
Now, what do you suppose they were going to do in the old house?
It's beyond me, boys. But maybe they was going to make the witches' living quarters more comfortable.
Again, our scene shifts. It is early the next morning at a main intersection in Inglewood. The patrolman on the beach is walking along the street with a late-to-bed friend.
I thought you 2 fellas were Rio Grande Junior Police.
Well, we are.
Well, why didn't you investigate the matter?
Well, we're junior police, all right, but we aren't supposed to arrest witches, are we?
Well, I don't know what the officer's manual says on that. But I think you might stake out on that house up there. And if you see anything suspicious, report it to me.
Well, you see, my mother doesn't like me to stay out at night.
Oh, not at night. Just do a little detective work in the daytime, when it's nice and bright and witches are all hidden away.
Oh, sure. We'll investigate it for you in the daytime.
That's fine. I'll be looking for a report now.
And a little later that same night, in another part of town, an alert radio car stops a suspicious-looking automobile.
Where are you boys going?
We're going to work.
Going to work at 3:30 in the morning?
Sure. Can't you say we're carpenters?
Carpenters, huh? It's a funny time for carpenters to be going to work.
Yeah, well, you see, we're trying to rush through a house for one of them big shots out in Malibu, and we have to get to work early. You get it?
Yeah, okay, boys, go ahead, but it sure sounds goofy to me.
Okay, officer. Good morning.
Judas, that was a close one.
Wasn't close at all. What did I tell you? It's a perfect blind. Anybody'd think we was carpenters.
And the next morning at police headquarters, one of the officers on the safe detail reports to his superior, Lieutenant Katzenberger.
Well, Katz, another box was blown last night. Where? In the branch bank out on Slauson.
Any line on who did it?
No, but I got a new wrinkle in safe cracking to tell you about.
What's that?
They used putty instead of soap to seal in the nitro before they touched it off.
Putty instead of soap?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is.
No reason to change. Los Angeles emergency cars are making better speed, have more power, and cost less per mile to run. And Rio Grande cracked gasoline is entitled to much of the credit. We've just renewed the contract with the Rio Grande Oil Company for all the gasoline used by the city of Los Angeles for the 4th consecutive year.
And so come the reports from city after city, county after county. For 1936, as in years past, it will still be true that
more police cars, fire engines, ambulances, motorcycles, and other emergency equipment are powered with Rio Grande cracked gasoline than any other brand.
Now we are pleased once more to present Chief James E. Davis of the Los Angeles Police Department. Chief Davis.
Good evening, friends. In every criminal case, this department receives hundreds of tips, phone calls, and crank letters, most of which, when run down, prove to be of no help to the investigating officers. Occasionally, however, an alert citizen will prove himself to be of tremendous value by reporting a suspicious action. In the case you are about to hear, the promise of adventure led two eager boys into a maze of facts which, when investigated by members of the police department, uncovered an ingenious scheme and led to the arrest of the criminals. If all citizens were as careful to state plain facts when reporting a suspicious person or action, and less apt to exaggerate, it would be a great help in the work of stamping out crime.
On a lonely hill on the east side of Los Angeles stands an old house